Hello and welcome. I am Scott Newhouse. I am your host. Welcome back to Retirement Clarity Radio. Today we're going to keep on talking about Social Security, and specifically we're going to get into spousal, widow, and divorcee benefits for Social Security. Now, if you want to learn more about Social Security and Medicare, actually, you should go to freeretirementbooks.com and you can get a copy of my latest book, 10 Steps to Getting What You Deserve, a guide to your Social Security and Medicare decisions. Again, the website is freeretirementbooks.com. Go there. You can either buy it on Amazon or you can get it a PDF download for free. I'll send it to your email address once you sign up for it. Okay, on to today's show, spousal, widow, and divorcee benefits for Social Security. Now, as you probably know, your marital status can make a big difference when it comes to your benefits. And frankly, if you're single and you've never been married, you have the easiest path to picking your Social Security benefits. And why is that? Well, you simply just don't have as many options. When you get married, when you get divorced, or widowed, you will have a lot more options to consider. So that is that, and let's start off with married spousal benefits. Now, as you know, you have to work a certain amount, 40 quarters, in order to qualify for Social Security. But if you don't have 40 quarters and your spouse does, you can actually collect on their benefits. So you can collect a portion of their benefits as your own if you're married to someone who qualifies for Social Security. Now, to collect on spousal Social Security benefits, you do need to be married for at least 1 year, and your spouse needs to be receiving their Social Security benefits. And the benefits that you're going to receive are going to be based on your spouse's, the one who qualified, the spouse's benefit at their full retirement age. And that's usually between 66 and 67 years old. Then at that point, you'll be able to claim 50% of their full retirement benefit. But you need to note that 50%, the spousal's benefit, does not increase after the full retirement benefit age. Unlike someone who qualified for Social Security, their benefit grows from age 62 all the way up until age 70. But if you're collecting spousal Social Security benefits, the spousal benefit it goes up to its maximum amount at your full retirement age. So there's no advantage to delaying spousal benefits for Social Security until age 70. All you get is up to that full retirement benefit amount. Now, like normal though, if you take your Social Security early, take those spousal benefits early, then you will have a reduced Social Security benefit amount. Now, one other thing to note, if the spouse is eligible for their own Social Security benefits, and that benefit amount is higher than the spousal benefit, then that spouse would take their own retirement benefit amount. But if maybe that spouse hasn't worked that much, doesn't have much of an earnings record, but they still qualify, but it's for a very low amount, then it would make sense for you to try and take the spousal benefit amount, if that's the higher amount. Lastly, there is some confusion about this, but the benefits that are paid to the spouse will not reduce the worker's retirement benefit amount that they receive. So there's no effect on one or the other. So if the spouse claims their benefit, it's not going to affect the worker's retirement amount that they receive. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the married spousal benefits. And I should have said this at the outset, but I am giving you a broad overview in this episode. I am not getting into every nitty-gritty detail. So just keep that in mind. This is the broad overview. You got to drill down in the details, and you can pick up my book, and then you can also go to the Social Security website to learn more. But let's transition into widow benefits. Now, Social Security does have some survivor benefits for people who have lost a loved one and they're eligible to receive them. I should note, though, that Social Security recommends that if someone passes away, to report that death as soon as possible. And you can just call a phone number. I don't want to give it just in case Social Security changes it, but just go to the Social Security, how do you report someone who passes away, and then you can call them and notify them. Now, in terms of widower benefits, there is a one-time death benefit amount to the surviving spouse of a whopping $255 if they're living together or receiving Social Security benefits on the deceased record. And then if there is no surviving spouse, that payment could be made to an eligible child. Could be made. So there's some restrictions there that you should look up if, God forbid, this ever happens to you. Now, who is eligible to receive widower benefits? Any widow that is over the age of 60 can receive it, or age 50 or older if that widower or widow is disabled. Also, a widow or widower that is caring for a child under the age of 16 or a child who is disabled and maybe over 16 is also eligible for widow benefits. And then also, and lastly, a child of the deceased who is unmarried, who is either younger than 18 or age 18 or older with the disability can also be eligible for widower benefits. Now, what are the benefits for someone eligible for these widow benefits? You can potentially receive, not potentially, excuse me, you're able to receive your deceased spouse's full benefits at your full retirement age. And let me emphasize that again. You can receive your deceased spouse's full benefits at your retirement age. So if there's an age gap and you want to max out to get to 100% of your Social Security benefits, you need to wait until the widow's full retirement age, not the deceased spouse's full retirement age, to get the full benefits. You can also receive benefits as soon as age 60 if you're a widow. However, they will be reduced. And we've talked in a previous episode on how Social Security does those reduction amounts for someone who takes it early. Also, if you're disabled, you can receive benefits, like I mentioned before, starting at age 50, as long as the disability started within 7 years of the deceased death. And lastly, if you have not remarried and are taking care of one of the deceased spouse's children who's under age 16 or disabled, then you can claim survivor's benefits at any age. Now, there's one really important thing to note about surviving spouse's benefits, and that's if you remarry before age 60, you lose eligibility for Social Security benefits on your prior marriage. However, if you wait until age 60 to remarry, then that has no effect on your benefits. In other words, if you're considering marriage after the death of your spouse, consider the effect that it might have on your Social Security benefits. I know that's not very romantic, but that's just the law. This is not a romance show, it's a finance show. So just keep that in mind. You want to remarry before or after age 60, it could have a big effect on your Social Security benefits. Do your own research, and honestly, you should probably talk to a Social Security expert, a certified financial planner, if you're going through that, just so you make sure you make this really important right decision. Last topic we're going to talk about today is divorcee benefits. Now, if you're a divorcee, you may receive benefits on your ex-spouse's record. That is a possibility. There are some requirements, though, and let's get into them. So the marriage must have lasted at least 10 years or longer. You also must be currently unmarried. And then also the ex-spouse has to be age 62 or older, i.e. so they have to be at that minimum Social Security age, 62. You have to have been divorced for at least 2 years, and your own Social Security benefit amount has to be less than what you would receive on your ex-spouse's benefit. Now, even if your ex-spouse remarries, you're still eligible to receive those divorcee benefits as long as you meet those requirements. So it doesn't matter if the ex-spouse gets remarried, stays single, that doesn't matter in terms of Social Security. Now, the amount that a former spouse can receive is 50% of your ex-spouse's benefits at your full retirement age. And again, I keep on emphasizing at your full retirement age. So it's not how old your ex-spouse is or your widow is, your deceased spouse is. All that matters is your full retirement age. That's when you can get your full benefits. And also, just like spousal benefits, a divorcee's benefit is not going to grow beyond full retirement age. So there's no benefit to waiting until age 70 in this circumstances. And then lastly, and I said this before, but if your own retirement benefits are larger than the divorcee benefits of your ex-spouse, then you're simply going to receive your own retirement benefits and not any benefits based on your ex-spouse, since that's just a larger amount. Social Security is going to encourage you to take the larger benefit amount. Now, Okay, so we've covered all three things so far. We've got marital benefits, we've got widow benefits, and we've got divorcee benefits. As I said, kind of in the middle of the episode, this is a broad overview of who's eligible, what amount you can get, and especially how you don't necessarily need to wait and probably shouldn't wait until age 70 to claim your benefits, because they're not going to grow past your full retirement age. If you want to learn more about this, get more in depth, go to freeretirementbooks.com. Again, that's freeretirementbooks.com, and you can pick up a copy of my latest book, 10 Steps to Getting What You Deserve. That's all I've got for this episode. We're going to have a couple more on Social Security, and then we're going to transition into taxes. So make sure to hit subscribe, like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks again for listening. As a reminder, you should consult with a financial advisor familiar with the specific circumstances of your unique financial situation before making any financial decisions. Nothing in this podcast is a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Any mentions of rate of return are hypothetical in nature and not a guarantee of future returns. Scott Newhouse, CFP, is an investment advisor representative of Forthright Finances, a California and Nevada registered investment advisor.